Welcome back to Final Fantasy -1. Today we are heading to the Mirage Tower and the Sky Palace, and oh, what fun it will be. Let's take a look at our equipment as I move the Masamune back onto my ninja bill. We do have some useful weapons on everybody. We have a couple things that are sitting in the inventory, not super useful. We will see what we want to hold on to heading into the end game. The Dark Knights here, they have the evil man, bad man kind of sprite going on. They are, they're going to be a common back attack for us. So they're going to turn into what the Sand Hags and the Raiders were in earlier dungeons, in that they're going to be annoying battles that pop up as a back attack and they prick us for a bunch of damage before we can get away. So we will see these guys quite a bit in this video. These Dark Knights also are rather difficult to escape from. I don't know what their HP pool is like. Thankfully, I have not seen them, as of yet, use some of the nastier stuff like the evil men do, like using nuke on their second or third action. So we did fill up our potions, and good thing we did, because we're going to need a lot of them going through this dungeon. This is going to be a pretty thorough crawl of this dungeon. We're going to try to look at every chest and see everything that's in here, even though my characters are, I think, pretty well equipped to handle the Temple of Fiends Revisited. I think we're in good shape for that. But I want to just show as much of this game as I can, as is my usual philosophy when demonstrating a ROM hack like this. So that if someone doesn't have the time to put in to explore a ROM hack, or they want to see if it's worth investing some time playing, hopefully my videos can be helpful to them. The first floor of Mirage Tower looks a lot like the vanilla version, as does the second floor, although the layout of the second floor is a little bit different, which kind of confused me when I first came in here today. But we got it figured out. The sandworms are actually running away from us a little bit, so those two sandworms are escaping. It's possible that this battle may be unrunnable. I guess I'm not sure. Looking at this one, we're getting a lot of can't run procs, but the worms are running away from us because they're failing their morale check. So I'm going to use the Sage Staff, and we're going to see if we can get that last one to just run away from us. And, oh, no, it's not an unrunnable fight. We actually just couldn't get away. It must have a low escape value. So here's a back attack from the Sand Hags. Speaking of those wonderful Sand Hags. And again, these guys also are on the harder side to get away from, which is kind of frustrating at this point in the game. I probably should have used the Sage Staff in the first round for them, just to make them run away from us. At least then we can get our 1 experience point. And it seems like we're getting away a lot more easily after I've burned up a turn on the Sage Staff, although the two are unrelated. I think it's just the way luck is lining up. So here's 2 Dark Knights, and this is a little bit faster than when 7 of them show up. So I'm happy to see that coming in here. Now the Heal Staff is interesting because it fills the same function as it does in the vanilla version of the game, except I've talked about this in other videos. The fact that potions will heal you for 100 or more than 100 in battles makes the Heal Staff much less powerful, because in a lot of games, or a lot of vanilla crawls of later dungeons, when potions are healing you for very little, you're using up, just gulping down potions after every significant fight. The Heal Staff is a way for you to just have enough resources to make it through a tougher dungeon. In this version, because potions heal for so much more, it's not a big deal. So I'm using the Heal Staff some, but not a lot. The dragon armor there, I cannot carry it, and actually I can't use it because my paladin cannot equip that heavy armor set. So the paladin has the mail type armor that he can equip. So the second dragon armor is not going to be useful for us, although the ninja armor is going to be useful, so the ninja shirt, we can equip that. I'm realizing at this point in the game that I still have amulets equipped, and amulets, they defend against some of the statuses from the earlier game. I've had the amulets on those characters since the beginning of the game, and they are kind of like a ribbon light. So I believe that it is redundant to have both an amulet and a ribbon on these characters, so there's really no reason for me to have amulets on any of them. Here, all the sandworms have been hit with the Sage Staff, so on their next action, they will run away. But I guess, unfortunately for this video, Bill actually gets the run proc there before the last sandworm can run. But it was going to run on its next action there. So there's the cube clue. And so inside this room, we're going to fight the Blue D. The Blue D is a trapped square that is, it's from the vanilla version, so the Blue D is definitely a carryover from that version of the game. I am not sure what to expect, so we're going to heal up and see what happens. We're going to dump potions onto everybody, and again, you know, I'm not burning through my potions all that quickly, so I'm not super worried about it. Now, here's a couple of Blue Ds. I'm getting 3 characters fighting 1, and I am going to burn up a haste 2. I have so many charges of it, I might as well use one here. I only really need to save 1 for the Tiamat fight. And so I've got 5 charges of haste 2 on the Black Mage, and the Ninja also has, I think, maybe 3 charges at that level. But as it is, the Rune Axe with the Viking just takes out the Blue T in 1 hit. So rather anticlimactic right there after burning up a haste 2 that was definitely not needed. There we go. And on we go into the Sky Palace. Here we go. So again, I'm going to crawl this pretty thoroughly now. Normally, the layouts of this is actually pretty close or identical to that of the vanilla version, the layout of the floors anyway. So the next staircase going up, or the next warp tile, is to the straight north of where we are, but I'm going to check out all these other chests. I don't need the flash hat because I don't want to have any other head items in this game. I don't want any more helmets. I don't want anything else. I only want ribbons. The rock goals, sadly, are inescapable, so we are going to be here for a minute fighting the rock golems. The only fighter that I have that can get through there, absorb, is the axe-wielding Viking up there. So the Viking is going to attack, and he's going to one-shot a rock golem every time he hits it. And then the spellcasting item, the spellcasting items are going to hopefully grind down the other ones so that maybe in round 3 I can kill off the last 2 with the spellcasting item, because the last 2 will have taken 3 hits from that. So we'll see how that works out. The ninja tried the ninja shirt to see if that maybe functioned like the white shirt does in the vanilla version, but sadly it does not. I was hoping that maybe it cast invis on everybody, but no dice, unfortunately. And there's the Death Sword, and things went exactly according to plan. The Death Sword took out the last 2 of them in that next round, so that was very nice. So I don't know what the flash hat does. Maybe it's a spellcasting hat. I don't know, but I'm not picking up any other helmet type pieces of armor because I've got the ribbons and I don't really need anything else in this run. I'm guessing that the author of this patch would have balanced the game so that you could still get through everything without needing to go to those 4 optional dungeons to pick up the 4 ribbons. So I'm assuming that nothing in those side dungeons is like absolutely required to beat the game. It's just nice to go through them, all 4 of them, and get the 4 ribbons, which is, I think, why we're still finding diamond helmets and flash hats and things up here that are, for my party, not anything I'm going to be using. So after this is all done, I am going to go back to the shops because I've kind of ignored going to the shops for armor or weapons for a long time. So I'm going to go to the shops in some of the northern continent towns and see if there is something nice that can kind of fill out my character's holes in their armor set. Specifically where those amulets are, which are now kind of redundant. They don't provide any absorb. They just have some protection against some of the status attacks. So we're going to check out all the chests. My gold is maxed out at all 9s. So the gold here is pretty useless for me at this point. It's mostly just me showing where the gold is. I don't even know which chests have it. So as we're crawling through, I'm just looking to see where it all is. Amulet right there. There was another amulet right there. And it... it's not something I'm going to use anymore. I'm guessing it's just for the ribbonless party. You know, it's like the old pro ring, what you go for in the vanilla version. You try to buy those pro rings as soon as you can, but then it's kind of a kind of redundant once you have ribbons on everybody. Again, knowing the stairs or the warp tile is to the north, we are just going to go to the west to that other room there to clear that out. We've got the red Ochus and the green Hydras, or maybe that's a Neochu. I used to call those nachos a long time ago, Neochus. Here's another battle with the Dark Knights. Again, as a back attack, they have a very high chance to hit you with the back attack. Sage Staff is going to force them to run away as they get their turn, so that prevents us from taking more damage. So that's another good thing, is that it gets them to run away while you're trying to run away. It prevents you from taking any more damage because it basically it functions like a stop spell, where they are, instead of taking an action, they do something else. They don't hit you. They take that action to flee. So this room is all gold over here. So as you are exploring this game, I would say you could probably just go right on up to that warp tile. There was nothing else in here that was unique. Even Flash Hat was something I'd seen in chests before. So I have a similar strategy here. The Viking can take out one of these golems in one hit, and then he'll take out in the second round the other one. So that's why I use the heal staff right there to get a little bit of free healing. And it turns out the ninja actually with the Masamune could take one out with that strike, so that was nice. And here's the warp tile going up to the next floor. This is the floor that's shaped kind of like a spider web or a star shape here, so I am going to explore all of them. Normally in the vanilla version, I just go to the southeast corner to get the white shirt and black shirt, and then I think there is, in the vanilla version, maybe one of the game's ribbons is on this floor, but I think I could be wrong about that. But normally you don't go to all of these rooms. So the Genji Gauntlet is right there. And here's where I'm faced with an interesting choice. I'm assuming that because it's named Genji, that it is some kind of glove that the ninja can use. So I'm trying to figure out what I can move around from my ninja to make room for it. So I'm checking his Absorb 34 and Evade 98 and seeing what taking off the Coral Ring does. And that's 28.99. So we actually got that weight was removed, so we got one more evade from it. So now we're going to try the amulet. It was 28.99. It's still 28.99. So the amulet provides nothing. So I'm going to put the amulet on the floor, Coral Ring back on, and then we're going to put the Genji glove hopefully on the ninja. But as you will see, it does not happen. And I'm noticing here on the video that I don't have armor equipped on my paladin. The ice armor is not equipped on him. That's something I fix later on in this crawl as I'm looking at his equipment. But as of right now, I'm not looking at it closely enough. So Cal is under armored right now because of a menuing error by me. So that's why he's taken 67 and 49. That's why he's taken so much, because he's got like 11 evade. Or sorry, 11 absorb. So again, using the Sage Staff, so they got one hit off, but as long as it lands in the other ones, every one of these, think of it as like 50 or 60 damage I'm not taking. So every one of those escapes, that's another hit that I'm not taking. There's another Flash Hat. So there's a mantle. So the mantle type is, I'm just gonna replace another amulet with it. And you see I still had a mithril gauntlet all this time into the game. What I was doing with mithril gauntlet, that's just evidence that I haven't been to the shops. I've just not really paid any attention to upgrading my armor through shopping, because normally in this game I'm used to not shopping after about Melmond or so. This is where the white shirt and black shirt are in the vanilla version, and I already have a Robe of Lords on my Black Mage, so I don't need another Robe of Lords, sadly. I do like some of the references in this of the items in this game to other things in the Final Fantasy universe. So just like the vanilla version, the warp tile is down there to the south, but we still have 3 more treasure rooms to look at. So we are not done with this floor by a sight. And if you want to just see the end of this one, you can always watch on 1.5 times or 2x speed and on YouTube, or you can just scrub through to the Tiamat battle. She's pretty easy to see. So I see the air knife right there, and I'm trying to figure out what can I drop to make room for the air knife. The giant axe looks like a good candidate, and I'm going to move that down to my ninja and see what it does to his attack. So we're looking at his damage and his hit percent. The air knife is a definite downgrade from the Masamune, so we are going to go right back to the Masamune, and we're going to move that over to our black mage. And we spend a lot of time in menus in this video. I apologize because we're looking at new things. 28 and 133. 28 damage and 133 on the hit percent. And so here we're just going to try out some of our new equipment. I'm going to try out the rune axe. I don't know if it does anything. I'm going to try out that queen sword. We're going to cast with the mantle and see if that does anything. And I'm also going to try the air knife, and I'm just wondering if this casts like an arrow kind of spell. Rune axe, this is interesting. Rune axe actually casts something, and it is mute. It's the mute spell. So you can see where it says silenced. It's the mute spell. Now, sadly, the air knife doesn't cast and the mantle doesn't cast. So now I'm going to try to run away. Yes, it's too bad that the air knife doesn't cast area of effect air elemental damage, but that's okay. Gonna get away from the guards. And the sentry type enemies that we have seen in maybe the Time Tower, I think, bonus dungeon, those guys are super tough. So I think the bonus dungeons are tuned to have enemies that are harder than the ones here in the regular Elemental Fiend dungeons. They're just, the optional dungeons are shorter. They're usually just 1 or 2 floors with some kind of tricky thing, whether it's the Dark Cave or the Ice Cave with its tricky hole puzzle that you have to fall through to get the ribbon. It's interesting. So there's a buckler. Looks like it's a like a light shield. I'm guessing that it's a light kind of shield. So we're gonna drop another amulet. We're gonna pick up that buckler. And I believe here is where I figure out that I don't actually have any armor equipped. As I see, the absorb is 14. And I look again at the absorb to see that it's 14, and that's where I figure out that I did not have my ice mail equipped. And I see now it's 46. So now those attacks from the guards and the Dark Knights will be 36 damage less instead of 14 damage less. So we can expect them to go down by, I don't know, 30 or 40% the way most of that damage was coming in. So the ghosts, this is an escapable battle. We just didn't get away on this first one. But it's worth just taking another shot. All right, on we go to the next floor. This is another kind of well-known floor in the vanilla version. You can look down upon the world and you get a clue for where Chaos and the fiends are gathering. You can see that the Temple of Fiends is like right in the center of the world or something. If you look at the world map, it's like pretty close to the center. Into the center of the 4 altars into the Temple of Fiends. So I guess it's the midpoint between the four dungeon entrances on the map. So that's kind of cool. They've laid that out that way. The air elementals, thankfully, are escapable in this one, so we can get out, no problem. And here is a nice, lucrative treasure room, but it's money, money, money. There's an Aegis shield. Definitely want to get my hands on that. Again, amulets are hitting the floor for the Aegis shields. So they are good to go. We are pumping up on the defense. He's now got 83 absorb, so he's really going to be tanking those hits. There's another flame mail, but we don't really need it, don't have room for it. Doesn't matter. So we're going to run from the air elementals, and yeah, we're going to leave some good stuff in the chests up here. Soft potion, and there's an ice mail, but again, it's redundant for what we have, what we need. because we found ice and fire mail in the bonus dungeons, I believe. So I think in the ice cave we found the ice mail, and I don't remember where our fire mail came from, but okay, so it's more of the same kinds of battles, and this floor, so far in the Sky Palace here, we haven't hit any battle that I would say is like a dangerous battle, something that's going to be a risk of knocking us down or, taking a character out. So we are just fine cruising along. I do have more than one character with the life spell charges. The ninja has a good few life spell charges, as does the paladin. It's really cool with the ninja having the life spell, having access to the time magic. It's been really cool to play around with that part for the ninja. Here's some rooms down here. This one is all just monitors and machines. And I couldn't quite see what was in this room. And in the vanilla version of the game, I'm sad to say that at this point, I'm not really grabbing any more treasures. You pretty much have everything you need. And I do remember now the floor below us with the spiderweb shape has the adamant in it. It's not the ribbon. It's the adamant is in there. So that's one that you want to grab. But once you really pass that floor, there isn't anything else that you need in this in the game. Basically, there's not any other treasures you need to pick up besides maybe the Masamune down in the Temple of Fiends Revisited in the last few minutes of the game. It's down there, and it's waiting for you. It's good, it's there, but it's sad you only get it for the last couple of minutes of the game. The last few battles, you got the Tiamat battle and the Chaos battle. So there's a diamond shield, a diamond helmet. I'm going to get the diamond shield by dumping another amulet's going to go down, so that we can get the diamond shield in the hands of our characters. And we're going to move the buckler down, because I think the buckler can be equipped by the lighter armored characters. There's that absorb of 52 now. No diamond helmet, and I can't do the diamond mail or the diamond gauntlet, because I've got the diamond gauntlet and the Genji gauntlet. I'm going to check the stats of the diamond gauntlet versus the Genji gauntlet right here, because I happen to have another copy of it right there. So 52-52. And it's 49-55, so a little bit more evade, but less absorb. So I'm just going to go back to what I had. That's not a deal breaker either way for me. And so indeed, you can equip the buckler with my squishy mage. Can throw that buckler on, and he's now got 32 absorb. And here it's 30 absorb. So the buckler gives a little bit more. So I'm going to put that buckler on at this point in the game. We're still menuing and throwing armor around. So the air elementals hitting hard, but not all that scary. And another quick heal up. We are now at 74 potions and counting down, and we are more than halfway through this dungeon, so I'm on a fine pace. There's Sasuke's katana, so I gotta figure out what I can get rid of for my ninja so that we can throw on Sasuke's katana and see what's going on. I'm gonna dump the coral sword after all this time, carrying it around all these miles. We're gonna pick it up. I don't know how it's gonna compare to the Masamune, so 49 damage, 191 hit percent. 49,191. And now it is 41,175. So it's actually a downgrade from the Masamune. I think it's because the Masamune came from one of the bonus dungeons. So Sasuke's would have been maybe the top level katana you could pick up without going through those bonus dungeons, but that's okay. So here is the next floor. Now this floor is a repeating floor. So if you go straight in any one direction, up, down, left, right, you're going to just repeat in this big like checkerboard thing. So to get to the other one, I like to go left, down, left, down. You can also get there by going right, up, because they repeat. So I go left, down, until I get to the other warp tile. So far, battles are pretty predictable, just the way we like them. The same kinds of things we've been fighting until now. We have 2 eyes and a wraith. Now, I don't know if the eyes are escapable, so I'm going to try to get away, try to attempt to run from this fight because I don't really want to deal with it. But after that first round of not running, I decide to just go ahead and take this battle on. Because if it's inescapable, I need to start getting rid of some of these guys. Because we've got the eyes are going to be casting slow. They've got their status attack stuff that they're going on. Fire 3 does almost nothing to the eyes, sadly. But it just does a little bit of damage. Now, their hit point pool is not huge, so any little bit is going to help me get there. So even using the Death Sword on them is going to help me put some damage on them in the Fire Sword. And I'm going to cast again. I got to figure out what can I spare. I have plenty of charges on lots of things. They're going to be resisting most of what I do, but maybe I can get a little bit more damage in with another Fire 3. So the Death Sword, 36, 27. There's thankfully a missed break spell, thankfully a missed stop spell. Fire 3, 57 is enough to kill him. So that 60 damage right there was good enough for it. And now that eye is very weak, and I need to just get a little bit more damage on him. I think almost any one of these hits is going to do it. Not one hit for 1 damage, but 1 hit for 62 will do it. So we will take that part. And so luckily, that was the first time we've hit anything close to what I would call a dangerous fight for this party. Everything else has been just vanilla damage, and at the levels that I'm at, I think level 33, we can tank it all and more. And we can keep it coming. So we're going to be guzzling some potions, but not really at the rate that you would in a vanilla run of this game. So it's pretty nice. And here's the top floor of the Sky Palace already. Now, this is normally Warmech territory. So this is where you would want to be really sandbagging up, although in most runs in the vanilla version, Warmech's kind of a game over if you run into him and you're not specifically ready for Warmech or looking for Warmech. But the guards here, we can escape from them. I don't know what other kinds of things will be on here. There are Magitech armors in this game. That's a Warmech sprite swap that are, I think they're a little bit less dangerous than Warmechs in this hack. I was able to take them on without too many problems. In Final Fantasy Ultra, the Magitechs were great for grinding in one of the trap squares because they were susceptible to break, so I had a couple characters who could cast break. So here's another eye. And so now that I'm thinking that it is an inescapable battle, I'm going to go on the offensive. And there in the first round, it's a one-hit knockout from my Viking. Just step forward with that rune axe and just chop it away. So that was nice. I like that these guards are like robotic guards. I think that's pretty cool. That in this this futuristic, past technology kind of world, they have robotic guards that are animated. So let's heal up. We didn't lose very much life going across the bridge. So he had taken 12. He had taken a few damage. And let's set up for a Tiamat. Now, I don't think there's going to be many changes I make here. The air knife I'm going to leave on Dan because I may actually attack with it to see if Tiamat is weak to it. But that'll be after I've exhausted my charges of the high-level magic, if I can find a way to get some good magic damage through. I have resistance to all the elements, so no matter what elemental attack Tiamat's throwing at me, I can handle it. So here we go, and just trying to win the damage race with the Fiend of the Wind. Here we go. So it's going to be fight, 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 and haste 2. I used 1 charge of it, but I still have 4 left, plus what the ninja has, and I only needed 1 for this. So I can see already that the ice sword wielded by my paladin is not going to do it. So it's resisting it down to 1 damage per hit. So let's see what the axe does. 5 hits for 509. That's what we're looking for now. So I kind of used that first round to see who is doing good damage, so who needs protecting and who needs to be supported. But for right now, Tiamat has not really shown any kind of threat, so I'm going to stay on the offensive. I'm going to cast Flare. So 7 hits for 7 damage, that's good. Galaxy is a stop spell. So it is I believe it's a threshold spell for 300. You have to have less than 300 hit points. I think that's what Galaxy is. That's a level 7 black spell, I think. But not to worry. We're in fine shape. Now here I'm just going to see, what can my Paladin do? He's not doing any damage. Let me just see if I can just cast Protect. So here's where I probably should have that Queen Sword on, because I'm guessing it's non-elemental, so that would be something that does that's useful. There is a huge flare for almost 1,000 damage, 984, and that was it for Tiamat. So the Black Mage casting Flare was the answer. So I want to save both of those flares for Chaos. Anyway, that is the Sky Palace and Mirage Tower. If you've liked this series of videos, it's almost done. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave me some feedback in the comments below. Let me know what you'd like to see for the next run later on this summer. Hit me up on Twitter also, where I am active_ATE. We will see you next time.